output, with many of its industrial products leading the world in production and sales volume. However, China is devoting greater efforts to exploring a path, balancing its titanic manufacturing capability with sustainable development. In 2012, considerable data indicates that Chinese products have become more and more environmentally friendly, and that increasing numbers of Chinese enterprises are now able to provide precise carbon emission data for their dealers. In addition to related government policies, this can also be attributed to these enterprises' initiatives to use new technology that favors environmental protection. China International Marine Containers Group Limited, or CIMC, is the world's largest tank container manufacturer. In 2009, it began a transition from extensive to intensive manufacturing.
集装箱产业是一个高排放的产业，转变经济发展方式怎么转？我们提出了梦工厂的解决方案。
With philosophies like waste is the source of all evil and improvement has no end, the Dream Factory established a more advanced system for automatic manufacturing. By realizing closed circulation of materials throughout the entire production system, not only are welding and paint fumes prevented from polluting the air, but also employee comfort and working conditions are improved. Paint accessories are reclaimed from the air, and a water recycling system ensures zero emission of industrial wastewater. Thanks to multi-level utilization of raw materials and energy resources, environmentally friendly technology is no longer a one-way investment without rewards, because each step contributes to lowered production costs. Since the Dream Factory began operation, its production capacity has increased by 50%, while electricity consumption decreased by 36%, and steel utilization rate reached almost 100%. Increasing numbers of Chinese enterprises have begun promoting cascade utilization and the recycling of energy through clean, low-carbon technologies, while placing new value on ecological ethics through green technology and techniques. Since the late 20th century, the Chinese government has reinforced regulation related to environmental pollution, both in depth and scale, through legislative initiatives, while constantly upgrading the national standards limiting the discharge of various pollutants. A comprehensive system for pollution prevention and control gradually formed. By 2010, China reduced sulfur dioxide emissions by 14.29% and chemical oxygen demand by 12.45% from 2005 levels. Air quality in urban areas and surface water quality had greatly improved compared to 10 years earlier. While transferring economic development modes, the Chinese government has introduced measures that require enterprises to fulfill social obligations for a green economy. From 2006 to 2010, China's energy consumption per unit of GDP was reduced by 19.1%, and water consumption per unit of value-added industrial output dropped by 36.7%, saving the energy consumption of 630 million tons of standard coal through energy conservation and energy efficiency increase, equal to a reduction of 1.46 billion tons of carbon dioxide emissions. The cumulative value of the circular economy industry had exceeded 1 trillion yuan by the end of 2010, and more than 20 million people are now engaged in the sector, making it an emerging economic growth point in China. Since the 1992 United Nations Conference on Environment and Development, the Chinese government has been committed to transforming China's economic growth mode from dependence on resource consumption to an economy based on ecological resource recycling. The ultimate goal is to merge the economic system with the material recycling process of the natural ecosystem, and in fact, related exploration can be traced back to 1986. In 1986, the Chinese government launched the Experimental Sustainable Development Communities Program to explore mechanisms for coordinated development of economy, society, and environment in regions influenced by different contexts.